Welcome again to my channel. My name is Kat and I'm here to introduce you to some vintage and antique jewellery. This time we have a Delft ware brooch that was made around 1890, and that was alongside other earthenware that was produced in Delft. As we can see on this example, the main theme here was the windmill, because that's quite typical for the Holland, and it's agriculture. So because the Holland is quite low sea level position, it's got a specific agriculture. They do look after poultry, cows, to make their famous cheese Gouda. But the blue and white earthenware came as a response to the popularity in China's porcelain, and earthenware is maybe lower cost equivalent to that. So the silver used, the grade of the silver that was used was 835, or possibly lower. I think I've seen 800 as well. We've got this typical rope design that was quite popular around beginning of 20th century to the mid of the 20th century. I suppose this came quite early. I mean, because of the shape, they've had a great popularity at the end of the Victorian era, and they actually started to produce the earthenware in around half of the 17th century. I will show you here another example, a bracelet that has the typical blue and white ceramic or earthenware panels here, depicting the windmill. It's got the rope style here again. I'll show you it from the back, and we have the signature here Delft, Holland. Okay, so it used to be called Delft, but now around the beginning of the 20th century it started to call Delft. I do not know why, but that is the truth. And some of the Delft jewelry has the signature on the back. Some of them don't, and I will show you another example shortly that doesn't have the signature on the back. And you can see that it's tin glazed. It's quite nicely lustrous, and it's a beautiful piece of jewelry. But you can get it quite cheap on the market because there are so many pieces of this. I'll show you another one. So I think this one came much later. We've got the typical kind of very popular around between 1930s to 1950. Filigree work was very in, and here we can see that the panel doesn't have the signature Delft Holland on the back, so that's another sign that this was produced much later. It is also 835 grade silver, and it's a beautiful design. I have many other examples of other jewelry with this type of filigree work, and it's always exciting to see it because it probably was quite a bit of work, but it was just so popular. And they kept producing these. I will come back to this brooch because I just want to say that this brooch was the first kind of souvenir-like item that was produced by the companies, because there was so much popularity in earthenware that was made in Holland that they have decided around 1890 that they're gonna start produce these little items, that people could take away with them, because they probably had lots of visitors. There were many factories producing the earthenware, not only one, but there were probably all around in Delft. So this is quite lovely. When I'm speaking about souvenirs, you know, I just want to tell you a little bit about this piece, where you can see the blue and white combination, but you also have the black, you know, outline here. We've got many different depicting of the Holland lifestyle, you know, people dancing, barge on the canal, cityscape and seascapes, you know, with ships, boats, and people living their daily life, and of course the windmills, you know, in many of those, here at the back as well. And this is not earthenware, this is enamel, as you can see, because earthenware doesn't have the black outline as we can see in here in this example. But what's particularly very exciting is how these were produced basically as a result of the demand for the earthenware, you know. Around the Second World War, there were lots of people visiting Holland, and there was a big demand for this kind of souvenir type of jewelry, so that was produced for that reason. And it's actually silver plated, you know. It's here you can see it's revealing the brass metal underneath, so that's quite exciting actually. There were such a high demand for them that they were using this technique of silver plating, and that was quite common in the rest of the Europe, you know, where there was a demand for souvenir jewelry, and that was much cheaper than producing the silver, selling silver or lower grades of the silver jewelry. So then they decided that they're gonna use another very, you know, available metal, which was brass. Brass is great to make jewelry with, so they decided to stick with the silver plating, because most of the jewelry made in Holland, or particularly in Delft, is silver made. So yeah, that's another interesting fact. It's this reason why I'm trying to, you know, find out a little bit backstory about these items, you know, because they are basically the result of people's work and historical events, and that really interests me. And so yeah, thank you for watching. I think that's probably it for today, and I will definitely bring you a little bit more videos like this in the future, because that's very exciting. I am working on another video about Nigger Brothers, which is about Czechoslovakian glassware jewelry. So that should be exciting. And so I will hear you in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this, and you have a lovely day. Bye bye.